Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, it's almost like summertime and all of that. And then a lot of times that people say summertime, summer love, So it's like, as of now, it's like I don't really have like a summer love yet. Although I think there's probably a couple of contenders. But although it was something that I was meaning to talk about there, even though I have promised myself that I didn't want to talk about, who Beacon Gaines, but it was this whole video that he talked about maybe about 3 months ago about his whole heartache and all that sort of stuff. And he was involved with this girl in Belgium and was getting like very close to marrying her and all this sort of stuff, and then she kind of got cold feet and broke up with him for that matter. And although some people were having like all these different opinions about it, but it's like I never really gave my opinion about it until now. I mean, for me, I kind of think the problem with VG here is that he didn't really gone after somebody that lived close to him, and lived over in Toronto. I mean, there's plenty of women out there in Toronto that will date him in spite of his um, radical radical veganism at some point, or his douchiness or something like that. But it's, to me, I think the whole problem there was the girlfriend or the ex-girlfriend. It's like, to her, it's like, why date this silly little Canadian, you know, over there, when I could date someone like that's right close to me and all this sort of stuff. And this sort of thing, it also had happened to a guy that I liked a long, maybe, I think it was probably back in '07. I don't really want to say his name and all that. But he lived like maybe somewhere like over in I think it was like Riverside or Corona. But he was not really interested in me. But then he somehow like gotten himself involved with this guy that lived way over like in England, over in the Warrington area, which anybody that I know that lives over there would know where it is. But it's like, in a way, the same thing. Like, why go out with this bloke when I could go out with somebody that lives close by? Especially how close Warrington is from Manchester. It's like if I lived over like in Daly City or Redwood City or like somewhere in Marin County, and then going after somebody like that's across the pond or whatever, and then go around and say like, well, why date this guy when there's somebody like that's close by, that's a little bit more better. And that was mainly like the reason why I never really wanted to date anyone that lived that far away, you know. But as far as this case goes, there is like some guy that I seem to like that doesn't live too far. It's like just San Diego, because I only limited myself to just here in San Diego as far as that goes, because it go to like San Diego like occasionally as far as that goes, but it's not like we just don't really go there at all anymore. It's just now we have some place to have a reason to go there. But I'll mention that about that later. So I just don't really want to go around in huge detail about all of that yet. Yeah. So, although there's this other guy that also doesn't live that far away, but he like lives over in like a Long Beach somewhere. But I was strange as it may seem now, it's like I'm just kind of torn whether or not I should give either one of these guys a chance, because it was probably maybe about a couple of years ago that I might have been interested in both of those guys, and they just seem to not take any kind of shine to me as far as that goes. But it seems like they are now, because of the Beard and all of that. And it's like ever since I've started wearing the whole beard, I was getting more looks than usual. So that was one of the things that happened. When like it was like right after like the first or the second month when I finally got into the full beard phase of it. That I was getting more looks as far as that goes. So, anyways, as far as this thing goes, it's yet to be seen, but in some ways I just don't want to go around and like gloat and then have it all fall downhill like that. That's just basically what happened to Vegan Games so far. That he gloated and all this sort of stuff, and he paid the price by having the girl kind of leave him even before he even got to the altar and all of that sort of stuff. But I think the truth of all that sort of stuff is that whether or not he'll actually learn from all this is yet to be seen. Because the guy is only like, what, 23, And today, in today's time, it's more like it's still kind of young and inexperienced as far as when it comes to women or in my case, men. So, and then when I was like 23, I think I was like in love with like the quote unquote the actor, and my heartache was it's just that he wasted my time, and that he didn't tell me until the last minute, that he was interested in me. It was like right when I had one foot out the door, heading back home, and then he finally tells me. Finally, I got word that he was interested in me. It's like if he was interested in me, he could have told me about that a year prior, but not right when I'm already planning to go home simply because I was all homesick and all that sort of stuff, So, in a way, it kind of depends on such things, because some people could never get over heartache, and there are some people that could get over it like it was nothing, like getting over like a huge breakup or of that sort, like it was nothing. And there's just some other people that could just never get over it for whatever reason it is. But I think it's just simply it just depends on a lot of contributing factors, So for me, it was just what was the biggest hurdle as far as relationship wise is just me being an aspie, and that's just basically what it is. That although I think I've slowly coming to accept the fact that not everybody's going to understand that sort of thing. Although there's just some people, it's just that understanding that sort of thing could take a great deal of effort, and there's just some people that aren't willing to do that. But then there's just some people that they can learn all about this sort of stuff and make such understanding of that sort of thing to maybe even point where they become a little bit too understanding, than opposed to people on the other end of the spectrum of that sort. So, anyways, I guess that's probably it until next time.